Hello everyone, welcome to today's session where we're going to look at the prescribed text from Epistle 2nd of this long argumentative poem and essay on man. So let's begin it. This poem, an essay on man by Alexander Pope, who is the famous 18th century poet, was published in 1734, and it is said that this poem was influenced by Pope's friend Henry St. John Bolingbroke, whom he also addresses in all the epistles or letters. Actually, this poem is broken up into 4 epistles or letters, where you can see that each epistle is subtitled, and the text prescribed in your syllabus is from section first of this epistle second, which is subcategorized as of the nature and state of man with respect to himself as an individual, which is also reflecting the theme of this epistle. And now, if you have noticed, then I hope that you would wonder that why this poem is titled as an essay on man. So Pope explains this writing verse or writing essay in verse in the introductory portion, which is labeled as design. So in this introductory portion design, he gives 2 reasons for writing this essay on man in verse, where he says the first reason is that he believes that it is easy for the readers to understand and remember verse than prose. And he also believes there is a second reason, that it is easy to be concise in verse. So after this basic information about this celebrated poem by Pope, an essay on man, let's begin the extract prescribed in your syllabus. I'm reading out it to you. Know then thyself, presume not God to scan. So here Pope is advising man that man should limit himself to the study of his own nature and existence, and presume not God to scan. And man should not waste energy in judging the scheme of universe propounded by God. He should not presume no God to scan. He should not involves himself. Man should not involve himself in presuming the scanning of the universe or scheme of by God. So know then thyself, presume not God to scan. The proper study of mankind is man. Here is Pope is saying, as this is a proverbial statement too, you have heard, I hope. So Pope is saying that if man wants to understand mankind, then he should study himself. Then the third line, placed on this isthmus of a middle state. So here Pope is indicating towards the complexity or the paradoxical position of man, where man is kept in a middle state, just like the isthmus. Isthmus is a narrow piece of land which lies between 2 large watery areas. So just like the isthmus, which is a muddled middle ground, man is also positioned in between God and animal. Man occupies a position between God and man. So he is in such a middle state, which is very paradoxical, as he is explaining it further. A being darkly wise and rudely great. Man is such who has very contradictory qualities, that he is darkly wise, he is ignorant as well as wise, and he is also rude and great. At the same time, he is great. So these are the complexities and contradictory nature of man, with too much knowledge for the skeptic side. So man is in such a limbo state, in between state, that he has too much knowledge that he can't be skeptic, and with too much weakness for the stoic pride, and he is too much weak that he cannot be stoic, which means that he cannot be indifferent to the pains and sufferings. So man is in such a between, as it is a link between God and animal. So this is what uh, shown by Pope man's very conflicting situation or position which is in the middle. He hangs between, as he dangles between. Man always dangles in between, in doubt to act or rest. That man always remains in doubt that whether he should work hard in life or he should be satisfied, he should rest, he should be satisfied with his present position, in doubt to deem himself a god or beast. And he always dangles in between these two positions, where between his heavenly aspirations and beast and his earthly existence, as he is in between. So he is always in remaining confusion and doubt that whether he should go for his heavenly aspirations or his beastly traits, his earthly existence. In doubt his mind or body to prefer. And man always encounters the very conflicting, or he always finds himself in the conflicting positions of these mind and body, that whether as a mind he should pursue intellectual things in life, or being a body he should follow, or he should go for the physical pleasures of life. So he is always conflicted. He finds himself in a conflicting position between mind and body, because his mind says something else and body is going for something else. Born but to die, and reasoning but to err. Man is born to die. Here Pope is saying man is born to die, as man's birth is nothing but the beginning of his end, and reasoning but to err. And man has the power of reasoning, but reasoning is nothing but an instrumental of but is an instrument of erring, that which in other words, despite of the reasoning power, man commits mistakes. Alike in ignorance his reason such, whether he thinks too little or too much. So here Pope is saying that whether man thinks too much or too little, he is always overcome by his ignorance. He always remains his same, his ignorance remains the same, whether he thinks too little or too much. Chaos of thought and passion. Here as man is a complex mixture of thought, feelings and passion, feelings and thoughts. He is a very complex mixture of these feelings and thoughts, all confused. So here in further lines Pope is expanding the idea of man being shuttled and torn in betweens. He is always in betweens. So how man is torn and shuttled between these all in betweens and contradictory traits or attributes. Still by himself abused or disabused, man is the being who is self-deceived and undeceived, as because man which this statement, if I elaborate, then this line says the deceived or undeceived means that man has the capacity to realize good, what is good for him. So man is the one who deceives himself, or who can undeceive himself. Still by himself abused or disabused, created half to rise and half to fall. God has made man in such a way that if he wants to rise, or if he rise, then he can become God, or if he falls, if he decides to fall, then he can become beast. He have to fall. He is in such half or limbo state. Great Lord of all things, yet a prey to all. Man is the one who is the master of the universe, because he is the one who is blessed with reason by God. That's why he is the master of the universe. But this is the man only who becomes victim of all the things around him. Sole judge of truth, in endless error hurled. And man is the one who is the only judge of truth. And he is also the one who commits endless errors, who commits or who uh, 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 makes countless errors. So in this way, the last line, which if you read it, that where Pop is saying the glory, jest, and riddle of the world. So this word riddle is indicating that finally the poet Pop abandons his search to understand man's nature. As he was exploring man's nature, he was scrutinizing that, but in the this end line is suggesting that Pop abandons this idea of searching man's nature because he finds man a bundle or a combination of very or he finds man too chaotic or too contradictory to be understood. That's why he gives this statement at last, that man is at once, at the same time, or at once, the glory, jest, and riddle of the world. So this was the section first of this celebrated poem from Epistle Second, an essay on man. And if you have noticed, and this poem is full of antitheses and oxymorons, and I encourage you to find all those antithetical and oxymoronic statements. And if you want to understand, I hope you have attended the lecture, but if you haven't attended, then I have given the link in the description box in which I have discussed in detail antithesis and oxymoron. So that's all for today, and I look forward to see you in the next lecture. Thank you for listening.